One of the lesser known regions of rum making, but it's now starting to grow. Here we'll try to unravel mysteries and troubled past, African slaves, colonial rule, colonists bringing sugarcane to the Indian Ocean islands. Let's dive in there. Hello, Hendo here, and welcome to Rum Region Deep Dive, Africa, Indian Ocean. In this video, we will shine a spotlight on rum making in the second largest continent in the world. It can be difficult to find information on some rum regions and countries, lost over time and a lack of archives or transparency, lost in marketing to be shared. But there's exciting developments on the African continent. Some are artisan producers emerging and others are marketed as craft, but interesting all the same. Areas I'll cover here are North and West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, South Africa, Madagascar, Mauritius, Reunion and Seychelles. The story of sugarcane and rum in Africa goes back to the colonists, much like in the Caribbean. The British, Belgians, Dutch, French and Portuguese are all involved. Sugar production, again, is more important than rum distilling at the time. Starting in North and West Africa, Arabians introduced sugarcane and sugar production to Egypt and North Africa from the 8th century onwards. Dotted across Morocco north coast, down the Nile. In the time of slavery and a triangular trade in the 17th, 18th century, the most highly sought after payment to supply slaves in West Africa was alcohol, so rum. The Portuguese cultivated sugarcane in West Africa, taking slaves to work on Madeira as well, but I can't find an awful lot of records to show rum distilling heritage in West African countries. Rum was shipped to West Africa and exchanged for slaves, which in turn were sent to work on sugar plantations in the Caribbean. Islands to the west, you've got the Canaries grew sugarcane and made rum, and nearby Cape Verde, grog is the national drink there. It's rum distilled from sugarcane. The Portuguese island of Madeira had hundreds of sugar mills going back to the 1500s, but now only 5 Madeira rum producers. O Rizinho, Engenhos do Norte, Abel Fernandes and William Hinton created his rum distillery in Madeira 1845. Madeira rum is rum agricole, aguardente de caña. Poncha is a traditional drink from Madeira made with sugarcane rum, bee honey and lemon juice. In Central Africa, you had a Belgian colony that's now the Democratic Republic of Congo, established a sugar mill in 1925 in Kailuu, make a rum called Kailuu rum. East Africa, you've got London Distillers Limited, make safari rum outside Nairobi in Kenya, a mass-produced rum spirit. Moonshine in Uganda means it's some of the highest alcohol consumption in the world, and Ethiopia is one of Africa's top sugarcane producers. Now to South Africa, colonised first by the Netherlands and then the British. British colonial period rum was evidently made in South Africa. The first sugar mill in 1850, sugar brought from Mauritius, but most modern rum brands in South Africa are not that old. Mainstay was first bottled in 1954. The sugarcane spirit is distilled from fermented molasses and column distilled. In South Africa there are about 13 sugar factories and 15 distilleries like Moba near Mozambique. Moba is the name for sugarcane in the local Swahili dialect. They are making farm to bottle sugarcane juice spirit agricole style rum. Mozambique has Tipo Tinto rum. De Vray Rum Distillery makes Dawam Rasta rum with imported molasses south of Joburg. Also Whistler Rum in the Free State. Rhino Rum Brickmakers Distillery in Port Elizabeth. Topanga, north of Durban, makes rum agricole, sugarcane juice spirit. In Durban, Distillery 31 makes a cachaça rum, but is also currently aging rum in barrel. In Cape Town, you have Copeland Rum, makes pure single molasses rum. Gertie's Rum, also Cape Town, is named after Prohibition era female rum runner. Then there's Inverroche Distillery on the Western Cape. When I was in South Africa back in 2013, it was all about whisky, but I look forward to seeing some of these artisan producers in my next visit. Now on to the Indian Ocean, Mascarene Archipelago. The island of Madagascar became a French colony in 1896 until 1960, one of the world's main producers of sugarcane and vanilla. Zama rum, made in Nosy Be, a tiny island off the top of Madagascar, produced by Group Vidza since 1980. Zama rum, the owner had a grocery business and Scotch whisky distribution company, so they started to age the rum using the ex-whisky casks. Now Zama dominates 60% of the spirits market on the island, a population of 22 million. Barrels come from Shivers Brothers in Scotland, ex-sherry or ex-bourbon American oak barrels. Madagascan villagers use a mix of tamarind and sugarcane shred to make a rum for their own consumption as well. It's called Malagasy rum. Now on to the island of Mauritius. It was a Dutch colony from 1638, named after Maurice van Nauza. Sugarcane introduced from Java, Indonesia soon after. Then French ruled it for a century, and then the British. 1740, the first sugar mill, and it's been a sugar economy ever since. Mauritius has 6 distilleries and about 34 rum brands come out of it. Sugar turned rum producer St Aubin was first founded in 1819, but rum only really taken off in the last 15 years. St Aubin and Chamarel both making agricole and molasses using alembic stills. So there's a heavy French influence here. We've got New Grove, founded in 1838 as Gray's Distilling. Penny Blue, single estate rum, VSOP and ex-cognac casks. We've got Pink Pigeon, is molasses rum infused with vanilla. It's owned by Diageo. St Aubin and La Bourdonnais is named after the French governor and is agricole style and column distilled. The Green Island imports from others, and Blue Mauritius was founded in 2012. I saw a strong showing of Mauritius rums at the last BCB in Berlin. Distillers are only now starting to long age. Chamarel is one to try. Expect some fine aged Mauritius rums in the near future, and it's good that they're gathering together their marketing. Now to Reunion Island, first colonised by the Portuguese and then French. It was called Bourbon Island in 1649. Rum making really took off after sugar beet prices in Europe hit sugar trade exports. They had to diversify from around 1865. Influenced by the French style in rum making, it is a French department and in the EU. Since 2015, Reunion is Protected Geographical Indication, PGI, like Mauritius, a sugar producing economy, and has 2 main factories. Reunion has 3 main distilleries, Savannah Distillery, Riviere de Mat, Ezotier Distillery from 1845, but also La Part des Anges, and this is Angel Share in English. Savannah Distillery, high ester molasses rum and sugarcane juice spirit. Rum Charette is the traditional rum blanc, is agricole high strength, which the locals drink. And you've got rum arrangé, and this is with fruit or spices, is popular. You'll see it all over in France. Bulk liquid gets exported for indie bottlers, and Reunion uses cognac techniques and aging. Some great liquid coming out of Savannah especially. Now to the Seychelles with its 115 islands. Although rum was first introduced to the Seychelles in the 16th century by the English Navy. There's only really one distillery since 2002, Takamaka Rum at the Trois Frères Distillery on Mahi, founded by the Doffey brothers. Made from naturally grown local sugarcane, pot and column distilled, aged in French and American oak barrels with various flavoured expressions. To finish, there are some rums with African heritage, like Equano rum is a blend from New Grove Gray's Distillery on Mauritius and Foursquare on Barbados, an Afro-Caribbean rum. Etan rum in London is made with Cameroon West African heritage, and Matuga rum in Scotland use African molasses for their rum production. About 20 years ago I was in Egypt in Sinai, and there was this fake alcohol called Wadi rum, which I thought was quite funny a name at the time, but it definitely wasn't rum. In many African countries alcohol is banned, but there are some interesting developments in sugarcane spirits and artisan producers well worth seeking out. Tell us what you think of African rums. Put your favourites in the comments, please. I'll add more videos on the series and the subject, and if you're interested in projects, contact us at hendotalks.com. As always, welcome your feedback. I hope this was useful to you in some way, and until next time, thanks very much for watching.